all over at the City Ground where it's finished. Nottingham Forest 1, Arsenal 2. Big win for the Gunners that. We talked about it in the build-up, the need to pick up 3 points here with that huge clash against Liverpool coming up at the weekend. And you have to say, when you got to half-time, it kind of felt like it might have been one of those nights. Lots of possession, 81% of the possession for Arsenal in that first half, but they couldn't turn it into clear-cut chances and in turn that into goals. And there was a bit of a concern, certainly on my part, that it was going to be one of those evenings. Forest set up really well with a back four, and then those two holding midfield players sitting just in front of the back four, Danilo and Mangala as well. They did a really good job of frustrating us, and you always felt that it was going to take a moment of individual brilliance, a bit of thinking outside of the box, something a little bit different to find that breakthrough. And Gabriel Jesus, the man that people always say isn't a killer in front of goal, isn't good enough in those situations, was playing a bit of street football there as he made his way across the byline and slotted it through the legs of Matt Turner. He had no right to score from there. Some people will blame the goalkeeper, I'm sure, but to have the audacity to try that and to have the confidence to try that is indicative of how much he believes in himself, even when all the outside noise is saying, you know, he's not good enough in front of goal, he's not enough of a killer, etc, etc. And then the second goal was a brilliant bit of breakaway football, wasn't it? It was given away by Montiel, I think it was, around about halfway, but from then on Arsenal punished Nottingham Forest, and they showed the ruthlessness that they hadn't shown in the game up until that point, and probably haven't shown anywhere near enough all season. Jesus turned provider this time as he played the ball across to Saka, who confidently took it on with his weaker right foot. You wouldn't have thought it though, the way he drove it into the far corner to double Arsenal's lead. And from then on you thought it was going to be comfortable. You thought Arsenal were going to cruise to the victory, take all 3 points, etc, etc, and be able to take their foot off the gas in the latter stages. But you can never do that in the Premier League. And Taiwo Awoniyi brought a real physical presence to that Nottingham Forest attack. They'll be delighted to have him back. He came back into the side today, only fit enough for a place on the bench, but Nuno Espirito Santo decided that he had 45 in the tank, brought him on at half-time, and he started to cause us a few problems here and there with his physicality, with his movement. Chris Wood can be physical as well, but he doesn't have the same mobility as Taiwo Awoniyi, in my opinion. And he just managed to bump Saliba, didn't he, to create that space for the shot. He tucked it past David Raya really, really well. And then it was a nervy period of stoppage time, wasn't it, from us? You know, we were up against it. We had to dig deep. The thing is that although at times we look at this Arsenal team and we say, you know, they're not creating enough, they're not creating enough clear-cut chances, you know, they are creating enough opportunities. They're just not making the right decisions in the final third, and at times the finishing has let them down. But what you can definitely say is that defensively they look pretty solid, and they look like they're not going to concede too many goals. So then to concede one the way we did, and then lose all faith in Arsenal's ability to keep Nottingham Forest from scoring a second, is indicative of how nervy things got inside the City Ground at that point. But look, we got the 3 points. Heading back to London now. Podcast coming up tomorrow morning. Make sure you leave your thoughts and your questions in the comments, in the replies, and we'll do all of that, and we'll do the game in detail. We'll break it all down, we'll analyse it, we'll talk about the key moments, key performances. Good to see Emile Smith-Rowe get another 70 minutes as well for Arsenal, and we head back to London with all 3 points. Big one coming up on Sunday, and that is set up beautifully now, isn't it?